The Geopolitics and Empire podcast is joined by historian and investigative journalist Anton Chaitkin. His most recent book is Who We Are, America's Fight for Universal Progress, from Franklin to Kennedy, Volume 1, 1750s to 1850s. Thank you for joining Geopolitics and Empire, Anton. How are you doing?
Good. How are you, Robe?
I'm doing great here in Mexico. So there's a lot to talk about, but I thought, we could start with your book, which is great. I just finished reading, and everyone today is kind of lost in the daily news cycle, and many people forget core history themes and ideologies that are driving today's events. And you argue in your book that what we are witnessing in America is the result of the struggle between the progressive nationalist outlook and that old imperialist system. I've recently done some interesting interviews, one with Italian academic Paolo Urio, where he examined the good and the bad of the American Republic and Empire. Could you perhaps, remind us of America's founding mission and, tell us what went wrong?
Well, that's the subject of my book. And I want to say that to try to understand the danger of nuclear war, the danger facing the world, the people presently running America, who you have to call Anglo-American oligarchs, Anglo-American imperialists, are the traditional enemy of the United States, if you go back through our history. Without understanding that, you can't get a clue of what's happening in the world.
You must be wondering where the rest of this interview is. From here on out, many future Geopolitics and Empire podcast interviews will no longer be posted to the YouTube platform due to censorship. They are simply too hot to handle. However, you can easily find all the full-length podcast interviews on platforms that do not censor. For video, you can go to the Geopolitics and Empire channels over at Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, or Brighteon. For audio, you can go to SoundCloud or wherever podcasts are found, such as Apple, Spotify, Google, or countless other podcast platforms. You can also bookmark geopoliticsandempire.com or subscribe to the newsletter to be reminded of every new podcast interview. I need your help in migrating away from Pentagon Tube, so please find Geopolitics and Empire on other platforms and subscribe there. See you on the other side.